Hello, everyone. Welcome. MTL Sports here, episode 177. It's about that time, guys. We got our divisional previews. Tonight, we're going to start with the AFC North. A lot riding in this division. Last year we thought four teams could make the playoffs in this division. Well, only two made it. So maybe we'll see more of the same of last year. Maybe we'll see some surprises out of this division. We'll talk about what we think is going to happen. Plus, we had a little bit of NFL news. Some injuries happened either at practice or we had two preseason games going on currently. So there's been a couple of injuries. We'll go over those and some other news. So, with all that being said, guys, stay tuned. Welcome, and we are back. Let's get into this NFL division preview and some news. So, start in the news department, then we'll head over to the AFC North. There's a couple of things to go over. I think the biggest thing is CJ Gardner Johnson did get hurt earlier today in practice. At first, they were saying it was a torn ACL, most likely, but I think the most recent, after some scans, um, says his ACL is still intact, so not a major injury, but I think he still will miss some time. Remember, CJ got traded from the Eagles to the Texans, so he is now a Houston Texan. So, any thoughts about this injury, Lawrence? It was pretty scary to at first, but now with his knees intact, I guess he can maybe only miss a couple of games.
Well, Mans is definitely not coming back until the start of the season. That's for sure. But no, I think that would have been a big gut punch if they were to rock into the season with that. And pretty much not even in a preseason game at all either, just practice. I know a lot of souls sunk in that clubhouse, but I think you got to look at the positives. Definitely going to be able to get some playing time for a youngin to see what they have in terms of depth for the preseason. Honestly, in terms of like grand schemes on their season, I don't think it's going to change it a whole lot. I don't feel like one safety can make or break your entirety.
Yeah, I agree. It's still a setback for them, but I don't think it's going to derail their season, especially if he's going to come back at some point. Another major injury. Chargers lose their, I think, starting left tackle. Rashawn Slater ruptured his patellar tendon. I think the Chargers O line was pretty decent last year. I mean, he made a Pro Bowl, so it's going to suck losing your left tackle. Hopefully, they got someone who can replace him and hopefully give you a good percentage of what he could do. But this is a big blow for the Chargers, who had big aspirations this season. What are your thoughts on this one?
For that one, I feel like that O line is really good. They have Joe Alt, I believe on the complete opposite side on the right
On
tackle.
the right tackle.
So I don't know if Joe knows how to play left. They might have to flop him to left because he's just that damn good. But honestly, if you're the Chargers, I kind of have this inkling suspicion that the Chargers are going to be like a sleeper team to really make a push for the postseason. And I truly don't see that, like a deep run that I think they can make happening without Slater in deep postseason games. But I feel like if they just if they get a half decent left tackle out there, I know you're gonna have to give up something, but figure it out. I mean, or try to find a diamond in a rough. I mean, he's got connections. Is there not a half decent Michigan left tackle that was in and out that system when you were there, floating around? Because we're gonna have to plug that hole real quick, or I don't know, like a team of rotation, like that. Because you gotta also believe now, injuries are all kind of like a trickle down effect. You get one, it leads to the others.
Yeah. Looks like Trey Pipkins, who started with the Chargers back in 2022, 2023, and he was last year starting right guard. So it looks like he's moving to the right tackle spot, and you're right, Joe Alt moved to left tackle. So hopefully that works. If not, like you said, maybe you have to go out there and trade for one. I don't know who's going to give you a starting left tackle at this point. We're pretty deep into the training camp and ramping up period, so it would have to be a good price.
No, you don't get a starting left tackle. You get a half decent second string left tackle.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Uh, Next up, this happened in the game. Anthony Richards, I don't know if you saw the play, but his finger looked all messed up. I think he dislocated his pinky during the preseason. I think it was in the first quarter. Yeah, first quarter versus the Ravens. Yeah, it did not look good. He exited the game. Daniel Jones got subbed in immediately. I mean, Richardson is just injury prone, man, and it just doesn't bode well. I feel like he just gets nicked on like any type of injury, like he is susceptible to. And I don't want to put that bad juju on him, but if it's not a shoulder, it's his hand. If it's not his hand, it's something else. Like I don't know, man. It's just not. It hasn't been good for AR so far in his NFL career.
It most certainly has not. I was literally about to ask you who's that Colts quarterback in there right now. It says Leonard. I thought Minshew was their back. I guess Minshew is the Raiders' backup. Anywho,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I kind of rather see Daniel Jones have like a fresh start in the Colts. I also, I don't know. I just don't truly buy into the Anthony Richardson hype. I feel like their thoughts and goals were, oh yeah, we're gonna get like a Cam Newton type quarterback, because he's big and he can sling that thing really far. Um, but I feel like where Cam Newton was better than him, obviously Cam Newton knew how to make better reads. His arm also got the ball deeper than Anthony's can, and also Anthony can't take big hits and pretty much make a cohesive running game with his quarterback, like with himself. Like he can't provide that. So the little I want to say experiment they were experimenting on trying to build with him, it just doesn't work because he's just not built for that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the obvious Cam comps are there, but I never saw him as a Cam comp. He's just a bigger guy who's going to be a project, and the Colts were never in a position to take a project QB, so I never understood the hype and the reasoning why they took him. But I agree. I guess Danny Dimes deserves one more chance, just like everyone else. He deserves one more chance, and hopefully, he does enough to get the starting job at the Colts. Because I don't think AR is. I still don't think he's ready to be a starting quarterback. I think he needs to sit behind somebody for another season, honestly, because he needs reps and. The Colts are in a position to at least contend for the playoff spot. He needs reps in like a bad team, not a like decent to mediocre team.
Agreed.
Ravens player went down. Rookie, I think it's a rookie. Bilal Cone, corner for the Ravens. He's a left knee injury, I think. So prayers to him. Hopefully it's not too bad, but it looked bad in the game. So hopefully he's not done for the season, but we'll have to find out later. Uh, Last thing I want to go over, Cam Hayward wants his deal reworked. I'm pretty sure the man's like 36, so bro, I don't know if they're gonna pay you when you that old. You're already making $14 million. Like I don't see it happening, but who knows?
I don't think it can happen. I think. I mean, we'll talk about that in a second. Do you want to segue this into talking about the
Mm-hmm.
AFC North now?
Yeah,
Because we're
that's
going
a
to
good
start here with the Steelers. Because personally, like an all-rounder for the Steelers, we'll just talk starting Steelers. I don't. I said it earlier. I feel like they not easily. I feel like they could finish fourth in the division if the Browns are half decent. I'm not buying the whole Aaron Rodgers thing. I don't think it's going to work out very well, especially with a very strong standout number one wide receiver, but then nothing really to follow in terms of good wide receivers. So the pool that he gets to throw to is also a little more narrow. We're going to go with the fact that his defense is, I would say, a little bit overpaid. They put a lot of money into it, which affects, obviously, their offense. Their running game is not going to be, unless Caleb Johnson can bring something awesome from Iowa, which, he just did basic run through the middle and hope for a big space with a good O-line from Iowa. He did that a lot. He does get little nitpicky yards, but they don't really have a huge threat in the running back realm. So in reality, I don't think it's that crazy. And then I was saying earlier as well, there's a lot of people who are putting a lot of hype on the Steelers, and I'm just really not seeing it. Because if you're the Steelers, you honestly cannot spend more money on the defensive side of the ball when it is already so hard to play defense in the NFL and just keep neglecting the offense.
Yeah. So with that being said, what do you think the record's going to be, and what's your prediction for them finishing the division? Are you sticking with last place finish, or you got them at third? And what do you think their
I
record's going to be
think
this season?
I would say floor is 6 wins, ceiling is 10.
Okay, fair. And that gets them third place.
I would say 3rd or 4.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I'm right there with you. I think there's a lot of overhype. Mainly, I mean, you can blame the media for that. I mean, they love them some Aaron Rodgers, and this is his proclaimed last season, right? His last season, until who knows what happens. Maybe they give him some more money and he decides to play again. But I'm not buying it. The O line was not good last season. It was decent, but not. I mean, like if we're talking average O lines, that's what it was. I think Russ and even like what's his name, Justin Fields, like kind of hit a lot of that by just like scrambling and making like timely plays like that. But the run game isn't. You lost Najee Harris. Not like that was a lot of much of a run. Running like threat anyway. But you lost him. You got Jalen Warren, like I said. You got the rookie Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. I'm not really scared of that if I'm anyone else in the AFC North. You got Kenneth Gainwell, but he's just a third down back. He can get you short yardage too. So I'm not really scared of that. I'm not scared of Aaron Rodgers at 40 plus years old. He didn't look good last year. Didn't look good 2 years ago. And I just don't think Aaron Rodgers can put up points anymore. I mean, even his last year in Green Bay, he wasn't really putting up points. If we're being honest with ourselves, even with the weapons he had in Green Bay, he still wasn't doing it. And I mean, if we're being honest, the weapons here are comparable to the Jets and his last year in Green Bay. So I'm just not seeing it unless you're banking on your defense just holding people to under 20 points a game, which is not going to happen in this division at least. Like the Ravens and the Bengals are going to score 30 points or damn near close to it. Can you score 30 points? I don't think so. Even against the Bengals' terrible defense, like I don't think you're scoring 30 points. Uh, I don't see it happening. So, with all that being said, I'm agreeing with you. I think I got some third place in the division. I think they're gonna. I think they're flirting at 8 or 9 wins. But yeah, I think they don't get past 10 if everything just falls straight for them. I don't think they get past 10 wins. But I'm in that 8 to 10 range or 8 to 9 range in terms of floor. Like they're not terrible, but they're definitely better than the Browns. Which is our next team, the Browns. What do you think about the Browns? Their win record this season. Where do you have them in finishing the AFC North? We know we got a shit show at the quarterback position, right? You got we got 6 quarterbacks right now, really. Uh, Old Man Joe, Kenny Pickett, Gabriel, Sanders. They got Tyler Huntley. It's a shit show. They're not going to keep all of them. They're probably going to dwindle it down to 3. So, what's your assessment on the Browns, Lawrence?
Um, I think they're just flirting with quarterbacks right now, but obviously they're only going to end with 3. So I think it's the beginning of the preseason, so that part of it doesn't really matter. What's nerve-wracking about the Browns is they're really going to be reliant on QB production with their, let's say, middle to bottom end wide receiver and running back package. I mean, outside of Jerry Jeudy, which he has some games. They got Njoku. They got the Deontay Johnson, the Spaz himself. So we're not talking about anyone amazing on this wide receiving and tight end group. They always seem to always have a good offensive line, so we'll just say that they're pretty good because you can almost always count on the Browns' line to be somewhat decent. Their defensive line, obviously dangerous. I wouldn't say it's as good as it's been in past years, but it's still, I would say, top 15. Linebackers, again, same way. I think they're middle of the pack. They're obviously not scrubs, but they're not, let's just say they're not the Ravens. Just a comparison within their own division. And then corner and safety, I think they're slept on. I think they're pretty good. They always hang tough within their own division. Their division tends to have pretty good wide receivers. So we'll just keep rocking with them. And then their kicker, Dustin Hopkins. I think ceiling for the Browns, 7 wins. I think floor of the Browns, 5 wins, 4 wins. I'm going to go 5 wins. I think it's going to be a strict pack right there, 5 to 7. I don't think they get lower than 5, but I don't think they truly get more than 7, which is why I do think they can still be over the Steelers and not finish fourth. I do believe the Steelers do have that ability to have a floor of 6. And if I'm pitching that idea that they get 6, I probably believe they lose to the Browns once to get them to 7 wins.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you in terms of, the floor is basically 4 wins. Like, they're not going to be terrible, but I just don't see enough talent offensively. And on defense, the talent's kind of scattered. So I don't think it's like a full package just yet. I think, obviously after Baker left and Odell left, and they just kind of been, even, that the 1 year with Joe Flacco, like after that, they kind of been in a retool. So I think they're just going to have a down year. They're going to need another draft to kind of get this ship back on track. So yeah, floor is 4 wins. I could see 7 if things go right, depending on, how the receivers produce, depending on the quarterback. I mean, it doesn't really matter the quarterback, but as long as we can get production out of somebody other than Jeudy, because he's probably your best receiver, and then Njoku, and then after that, I can't really tell you who. So they definitely gonna need some help from the receivers and the running backs. I mean, Chubb doesn't come back. You only have Ford, who looked okay at times, but the offensive line isn't as good as it used to be. And then you got the rookie Judkins. I think Judkins still hasn't signed, and has a suspension looming for something he did, right? I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah, but my thing with Ford is he's too slow. He can't break away. He simply just can't break away.
He's definitely a ground and pound. Like, if you need 3 yards, like, that's what he's good at. So we'll see. It's definitely, you got a compelling case for them to beat the Steelers and finish third. But as of right now, I just don't think it's enough talent. But we'll see. Next up, we got the Ravens. Defending AFC North champs, looking to do it 3 times in a row. I think that hasn't been done in a while, if ever. You still got Lamar, who, first team All Pro, but didn't win MVP, so he's got a little chip on his shoulder. You re-signed King to another, I think, 2-year deal. You got D Hop, he joined the team. You lost your kicker because he was kind of doing some massage Watson stuff too. So you lost your kicker. Hopefully the new kicker is somewhat decent. I don't know. Can't really tell you myself, but Defense is solid, mostly same defense from last year. So, what do you think about the Ravens, Lawrence? Do they win the division again? Do they, go back to the playoffs and make a deep run? Like, how are the Ravens looking to you?
So my honest opinion on the Ravens, and I think I'll give it to the Bengals this season. I think the Ravens finished second. I think ceiling wise, Ravens obviously 12 wins. I say 12 wins, 13. I would say 12 wins. I think floor though, I'm gonna go 10 wins. So we're really really tightly packed in here. I don't think it's more or less. I love almost a lot. I love most things about the Ravens. Secondary wise, we've been kind of grilling Humphreys for the last couple of years. All right, what does that Jair Alexander to? So like, what is Super Bowls for this defensive secondary? Honestly, just stacked on all levels in the defense, which is what they're known for. Offense, you can't complain. Finally, he has like a good, I would just say a trio of wide receivers. Because at this point, he must like Bateman for them to like keep him around. Because personally, I don't think he's anything special, but
Yeah.
they seem to like him. So, and then to have Zay Flowers and DeAndre Hopkins, I feel like this is really impactful. I feel like it's finally full circling that he's going to have a complete unit to throw at because he's got two tight ends deep. He's got a I would say above average O line, top 10. It's a breakout year. He's got to finally overcome the playoff, even if that means he does have to go on the road because they don't win the division. But they very well could with 12 wins. I just think that their strength of schedule, they have to have like one of the hardest ones because it's just certain games that they have to play as well. They have to go in Lambeau Field during the cold time of the season. Like, that's a tough road game. It's tough because it's Green Bay, but it's also tough because we're going in Green Bay when it's cold. It just sucks. They have to play Cincinnati in the cold. They have to play, beginning of the season, first game, Buffalo. So maybe the team's not fully put together. We got little spots here, little spots there. There are little holes that could be like cracked or picked apart on. Perfect team to pick them apart. It's Bills. I feel like there are stretches in the season that they have rough spots. Bills. Like maybe an easy win with the Browns, but then you got Detroit, Kansas City, Houston. That's a rough patch. Houston definitely wants smoke back from last year in the playoffs too.
Yeah, I mean that stretch right there, Detroit, Kansas City, Houston, the Rams, even Chicago. Chicago should be a lot better. The offensive line is decently upgraded. So if Caleb Williams can just get rid of the ball in time, then they're gonna be tough. And then you got, Miami, Minnesota. Like that's a rough stretch from week 3 all the way down to week 10. They get that. They get the Bengals schedule from last year, where the Bengals had a really tough schedule during the middle of the season. So you're kind of swaying me. You're kind of swaying me. I'm still going to give it to the Ravens. I think they win the division. I think it might be a little bit of a shocker. I know, but I'm trying to be as biased as I can, or unbiased as I can, right? I think the Ravens do win the division for a third time. Lamar has a complete team, not like he didn't have it last year, but I think the team is, as like you said, the finishing touches for me was okay. You got him at 3 decent receivers last year. You could say it was 2 decent receivers plus your tight ends. Now I think Lamar doesn't have any excuses. Like you have a really, really good team. Like you got to win more than one playoff game. You got to win 2 playoff games in a row, buddy. You can't. No more excuses. You can't say, "Oh, it was a snow game, and so it was my first snow game, and I didn't feel comfortable." Like I don't want to hear none of that. Dude, Lamar freaking Jackson, bro, won the Heisman. What 2-time MVP? You got to get it done, bud. So I think their floor is about 11 wins. Still double digits, but I think 11. I think 11 is going to be the winner of this division. Um, but of course, their ceiling is probably maybe 14, probably about 14, I'd say. So anywhere in that range, they're making the playoffs. They're either going to be fighting for the 1 seed overall in the AFC, or are they going to be in that wild card spot? But that middle part of the season, I didn't even really check their schedule beforehand. So looking at that middle part of the season schedule, Lawrence, you just talked about it. Like this is looking very, very rough for them. And I mean, it gets a little bit easier, but not like a whole lot easier. So I know they can pull double digits, bro, but it's just tough. It's tough going against these teams. Some of them
I
at
think
home,
the
but some of them.
I think the last four don't need to be shouldn't be slept on either. I feel like they could. I feel like they easily can win in Pittsburgh or win at home versus Pittsburgh, but then they have to go to Cincinnati in the cold. He doesn't like playing in the cold anyways, but they're going to have to go to Cincinnati and play in the cold. Then they get to bring New England home to them, but it's going to be a Mike Vrabel end of the season Patriot team. He used to be on Patriot teams end of the seasons, and that's when Mike Vrabel always seems to have his team perfectly well organized by the end of the season. So you're going to have to pretty much face the best the Patriots are going to give you. Then you got to go to Green Bay, and then you have to finish the season at the Steelers, who, even
Yeah,
if they are bad, want to kill you.
yeah, they still gonna play you good. They still gonna play you good. So, like I said, I want to change my pick. You're doing a lot of convincing, but this is what I was thinking beforehand. So I'm gonna stick with the Ravens winning the division, but I think very easily if they get stuck in this little part right here and they start skidding, then the Bengals easily could, take over the division from them. Um, and that leaves us with the Bengals. Good segue, right? They're playing right now preseason game against the Eagles. Not going so well. Eagles are winning, as you can see, but overall the Bengals, a lot of doubt going into the season. A lot of, 99% of people thought they weren't going to pay T and Jamar. They did just that. Um, they're focusing on Trey right now. They had a little bit of nothing with the whole Shamar Stewart thing. He finally signed about a week, 2 weeks ago, right? And he's out there practicing, and he played tonight. He popped out on the screen even against I guess some of the Eagles starters. I don't know how many actually played, but he's popping out on the screen. So last up in the AFC North, Lawrence, the Bengals. Who do you? You have them winning the division. So what do you think their record's going to be?
Um, I think it's the same boat as the Ravens. I'm going to give them at most. I'm going to give them at most 12 wins.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll also take it down a little notch. I feel at worst, if they have one of their sputters, it's going to be 9 wins. But I'm really more so leaning on 10 to 12. The same way I'm thinking of the Ravens. Pretty much those are probably trade-off wins, with some slight flukies here and there. But, all in all, I feel like this team survives pretty much anything other than a QB injury.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. I got them finishing second in division. I'm right there with you. I think 10 wins is the bottom, the floor of what they can do. They're going double digits this year. They were pretty much there last year. They finished 9-8 last year. So I think with a better start to the season, I think 10 wins is very doable. And I think the ceiling for them is about the same as the Ravens. 14, probably 13, but I can see them getting 14 too if they get off to a really hot start. Um, the question for me is, some of the starters played today or tonight against some of the Eagles' second team offensive players, and it was not looking good. I will say Al Golden has gotten them better at tackling per se, but I still think there's still some holes on defense in terms of stopping the run, in terms of the corners. I know not all of our starters are playing, but I think the DB room definitely needs to improve a lot, even though they were looking pretty good in camp. But that's just training camp reps, so I can't take too much stock in that. But for me, I just feel like there's still one more draft away. Even if Trey is going to come back, but when he's come back and gets signed for another 3 years, it's going to take another draft for this team to really have their shot, their title window. Um, But if everything clicks this year, then definitely they could definitely make the Super Bowl. Will they win? That'll be tough. That'll be tough, but they definitely can make the Super Bowl. I see them at least making the AFC Championship game if everything goes right. Because the offense looked good. I mean, the O line is crisp, Lawrence. Like the O line is crisp. This rookie Fairchild is good. He's good. The only question on the O line is the right guard, and whoever was playing right guard tonight looked decent. So that's the only question mark on offense. I mean, Chase Brown is going to be a problem. This man is catching everything. As to last year, he was, kind of shaky in the past game, but he's gotten a whole lot better. He's running even better than last year. The holes that they were having against the Eagles defense on that first drive, even the second drive was amazing. Like no issues with the Bengals offense. That they will be clicking on all cylinders. They will put up 30 points a game. The only question mark is, can they stop another team from putting up 30 points a game? And I think if they can get to a hot start, and if the defense can get confidence in the first couple of weeks, then yeah, they can probably be an average defense. But if they come out the gate and just don't play good defense from the jump like they did last year, then yeah, it's not gonna be a good season for them. But I got faith, but I think they're still one season away. But they do make the playoffs this year. I will leave at that. Any additional thoughts?
No, I really wanted you to take away with your sentiment about your, it's your team and everything. So, no, I pretty much liked your take. I could see them just being a draft away, but I still also agree with you. I think they kind of make a deep run this year.
Yeah. I mean, at least the playoffs, and they'll probably, if say they get the wild card berth, they're gonna win one playoff game. But if they win the division, they're competing for the number one seed overall. Then yeah, they got a good shot to make it to the Super Bowl. So it's a wide range for them. But things got to go right for them, including a hot start. So that's it for the AFC North. I don't think we need to touch on anything else. I think right now we got two teams coming out making the playoffs in this division. At the very least, right? Probably two teams.
Yeah, I don't think there's more than two.
Yeah, I don't think the Steelers or the Browns. Definitely not the Browns, but I don't think the Steelers have enough. I think truly, Lawrence, this is Mike Tomlin's first losing season. I know we said it last year, but I legit think this year he's going to have a losing season.
I also agree with that. I think it's finally time for him to have one. I think it's finally time for them to have like a little bit of a, I don't want to say a change or a wake up call, but like, doing the same thing for so long has like peaks and valleys. Like, and I feel like under his leadership, they kind of like just plateaued.
Yeah, and it's not his fault. I think whoever's the general manager has something to do with that. He doesn't want to construct the roster in the opportunity to kind of tank. They kind of just want to go for it always. So not all the blame goes to Mike Tomlin. Some of it has to go to ownership and whoever the general manager is, right?
Yeah, I also agree with that way. But as a franchise, they've been a pretty good staple franchise. Maybe this GM isn't as good as the couple in the past, but I still think it just needs kind of the whole organization needs to make a little bit of a rebrand.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that one. Anything else before we head on out? I think there's a UFC fight night this weekend, but I couldn't tell you who's fighting. No WWE pay-per-views this weekend. Just Friday Night SmackDown tomorrow night.
No, I don't have anything else to add. I like to shout out thanks Shador for getting Carolina versus the Browns flexed into the NFL Network spot. They flexed out the Commanders game from the NFL Network spot, which is already okay for us because it's going to be on regular TV anyways.
Real TV,
so it doesn't even need to be on that one. But Shador got my Carolina Panthers put front and center.
Love to hear it. All right, everyone. We're going to head on out. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, all that good stuff. And we will see you next week. Peace.